Hi, my name is Justin Melton. I am a student at Youth America College, an extension site of Southeastern University. Today my art talk is going to be over the Cathedral of Notre Dame, not to be confused with the College of Notre Dame that is located in Indianapolis. Rather, this is the cathedral in Paris. So we have some background information historically for the cathedral. It started construction in 1163. And was part of an upcoming art movement called the Gothic. This is a very prevalent architecture scheme back in this time period. Most of the cathedrals that we see today are of the Gothic era. And the Cathedral of Notre Dame was under construction from 1163 until 1250, so right around 90 years of construction, which is quite a lot, but understandable given the lack of technology they would have had in this era, and a few more of the details we're going to see in just a few moments. So the cathedral had 4 separate building steps. The first was to build the choir. The second was to build the last 3 bays of the nave, the galleries, and the aisles. Don't worry about any of the terms that you might see. We will go over those in just a second. Third, they built the foundations of the facade and the first 2 bays of the nave. You might ask, why did they build the first 2 bays after the last 3 bays? And that is because they were working from the back of the building to the front of the building, so it made it easier for them to work on the last 3 bays first, and then work their way up to the first 2 bays. Lastly, they built the high gallery and 2 towers, as well as extensions for the windows, which is a very prevalent structure of the Gothic era. So some key terms that you might not have understood are the facade or facade, depending on how you would like to say it. And this is the front or face of the building. It's basically what you would see if you walked up to the building. We will have a picture of that in just a few moments. The choir is a part of the building that the singers would be in. Seems like common sense. Rather, this is an architecture element rather than a physical choir with the people. And the bays of nave are actually a combination of 2 architecture terms, the bay and the nave. The bay is a space between architecture elements, or a compartment, a space, or reserve that's strictly set off. And the nave is where the center aisle would be, such as between seats, like if you were walking up on your wedding day, you'd be coming up the center aisle, or the nave. Here we can see the facade of the Cathedral of Notre Dame. A quality of Gothic architecture is the symmetry of the buildings. You can see that if you cut straight down the middle of the facade, that they would be identical. Now, it is much easier to see it on the facade rather than on the side of the building, because the architectures were more focused on the front of the building, because as the first thing you would see, the symmetry isn't a symmetry of the entire building, rather just strictly of the facade. During the 16th and 17th century, much of the cathedral was deconstructed, including the arrow that you will see between the 2 towers. That was actually taken down during this time. The Gallery of Kings and replacement of many of the windows were also done at this time. And then when we get into the 19th century, more renovations were made, and this is what we see today. You can see they put the arrow back, they put in more windows, just replacing them because they were old, and they reconstructed many elements, as well as put about 15 sculptures back into the cathedral. We have a close-up here, and we can see that gargoyles was a common theme of this cathedral. In fact, this was very prominent in the Gothic architecture. You'll see gargoyles on many different buildings. As well as the aesthetic aspect of the gargoyles, they also serve the purpose of funneling rainwater down the cathedral. Just a fun fact there. And in this close-up you can see the intricate detail into the gargoyles and much of the facade. And this is why it took almost 90 years to complete the cathedral. And here's my bibliography of the sources I cited, and I hope y'all enjoyed this presentation.